Okay, everyone. So welcome to our final Hangout discussing all of our tools. And this is presented by myself. I'm Caitlin, Carly, and Alex. And I will be going first discussing my tools. So let me screen share. Pull it up. There we go. Okay. All right. So the first tool I'm going to be talking about is called RazKids. And RazKids is an interactive reading tool for kids to practice their reading fluency and comprehension. And what it is with this website is each student has a login and a password, so they have their own account rather than it being a whole class account. This is something that they could access at home if they have a computer as well. And the teacher can monitor their progress and change their reading level according to how the students are doing. There's hundreds of ebooks. There's 27 levels of difficulty, so 27 different reading levels. The teacher can place a student in their proper reading level and still keep track of their progress. So if a teacher places a student in reading level number 1, throughout the course of a few weeks, the teacher can see how the student is progressing through each level. And what this is it's designed to keep students motivated and engaged. And at the end of each reading, students take an e-quiz, and what it does is it tests their comprehension, and that allows the teacher to determine if they need to focus on specific instruction when they're in the classroom. And also this helps determine whether or not the students should move up in a reading level, or if they have to move, if they're not really understanding it, they may have to move back down. So this is the website here, just a little bit. The only thing about this website is it's not free. You can start a free trial, but you can only have access to it for about 2 weeks. What you have to do is the teacher not necessarily, but the school would have to purchase licenses for the students. And I was looking at the licenses, and you can order them for a classroom, or you can order them for home. And so for the sake of this, we're a new customer. Each license is about $110. So I mean, it can be pricey for the schools, but it's definitely, in my opinion, I think it's worth it, because something like this, it tracks how the student's doing, and it really gives them another way to test their own reading level and their comprehension. And what RazKids does is it helps to increase their reading ability. And after reading 10 books and passing each e-quiz at the end of the books, the students will be able to move up a level where they'll have access to more difficult texts, maybe more difficult vocabulary words in those texts, or they may be just lengthier texts. And the only downside to this is, if you don't have access to a computer, you really can't use this in a classroom. Sorry. But it says some of the benefits: access for students, they can do this they're reading anywhere at home, if they're on the go, as long as you have reliable internet access. And it keeps the teachers in control. They can make assignments and track their student progress with online assessments and student recordings. And you can view reports. It's simple for individuals, classrooms, schools, and even districts. So the teacher could look at each student and see how they're progressing, and then they could look at the entire classroom and see how they're progressing as a whole. So I just thought this was a really cool website. And there's mobile apps you can download as well for RazKids. So the next tool I had was the QR codes. And with the QR codes, this isn't really a website. I mean, it's more for teachers than it is for students, in my opinion. But what it is QR codes are quick response codes that are two-dimensional barcodes that can be read using tablets, smartphones, or any other QR reading device. I've seen this. I see these. I never really seen these in a school, but you see these a lot out in public or on flyers for information, or I see them a lot in public. People will post these on flyers or anywhere, and it takes them to whatever is going on. But what it does is it links directly to websites, articles, emails, videos, and like I said, it can be read using a device. And usually, you have to download an app on the device. So, if using a tablet or smartphone, you can go on and download an app. It's like a QR reader app, and that's how you would use that. And what's cool is you can generate your own QR codes. And what this does is it provides benefits for teachers and students. It can enhance their learning and engagement. It allows them to find info using technology in a way they may have never experienced before. And QR codes assures that students will access the website they're supposed to be going to, because if you have the code in front of them, using that code, they're only going to be allowed to go to one website, versus if you tell them, okay, open Internet Explorer and type in this website, they may get distracted, or they may spell it incorrectly, or they could have problems like that. With the QR code, it assures that they're going to the website or article, video, whatever it may be, right away. And, this is something, again, if you don't have access to the technology, you may have a computer, but you may not have a tablet or a smartphone or that type of device to read the QR code. So, for example, I'll just show you, say we wanted to make a QR code to Raz Kids. What you do is you copy and paste the website link. So you just paste it right here and then hit create QR code, and it'll pop up here, and then you can download it. And what that does is it'll save it as a file, and then you can place that file in a document or print it out, whatever you may be doing with that. And then you can also, you can, like I said, you can print it, you can share it on Twitter or Facebook, Google, whatever means of communication you may have with your students or parents or whoever you're using this with. So yeah, I do think it's beneficial, but at the same time, if you don't have a way to read the code, it's unfortunately it's useless, because you can have the computer and the internet capability to access the code generator, but without a way to read it, you can't use it effectively. And then my last tool is eMaze. And what eMaze is it's similar to Google Slides and PowerPoint. It's fun and easy. I didn't know a website like this existed until I started researching it for this. And what it is, students can use eMaze at school to create their own slideshows. If they're doing a presentation, maybe on a book or something they're learning in class, this is really a great way for the students to create this kind of slideshow. And they can use it at home as well, because this doesn't require an internet connection, which I thought was really cool, because some students they may not have that internet connection at home, and as long as they have the software on their computer, this really it's a great tool for them. And students can access it anywhere once they have created an account, and it's really simple. This is free. Like, I just created my own account just for the sake of this, and I was just exploring through it, and it's a really cool website. You can create presentations, like mini websites, an e-card. You can do games, like a visual story. I was playing around with it, and just the options that you have are pretty cool. You can create an account for free, but then you can also upgrade it to like the pro account that they have. And if you do upgrade it, you have access to a lot more features to add with your presentations or whatever you're creating. And it can be used to teach a variety of subjects. So I'm just going to show you the one that I made just for this this presentation. So it's really cool because this is something like, you may not see like on Google Slides or on PowerPoint. So I thought this kind of how this presentation goes, it's geared towards math. So, having a question like which one is taller, you have these visuals for the students to be able to see. So each of these little tally marks, if you're in math class, you could say that these are inches or their feet, they could really stand for something. And then another one, if you're teaching numbers, like it says 1, 2, 3, it's just a great way for the students to visualize what is being taught. And then another one, it's just you have 6 minus 4. It shows them in groups and what they're taking away. And then same with this one, which number is smaller. So, and then you can share these presentations as well, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever accounts you may have. What this does is, teachers can create content that students can work independently on, using tablets or laptops in the classroom. And also this software allows students and teachers to collaborate on a digital level. And what that does is it gives the students access to more lessons, and, they can use this in their own free time. And it allows students to have a new way to present and learn information. Parents could also view and help their students with presentations or anything at home. So if a teacher is using this presentation to teach a lesson, they can access it from home, and it really, it helps the parents, be able to see what their children are actually learning in the classroom. And if the children are struggling with it, perhaps the parents could help them by actually viewing what the teacher is using. And something with this is the students, if students are creating this, they're given limited options. Whereas, if you use something like PowerPoint or Google Slides, there's so many options, and it can become a distraction. So that was one thing that was one of the things I really liked about this website. And like I said, it's it's free for a basic account, and then you can upgrade it to their pro account. So those were my tools. Hold on. Some screen share.
The eMaze one reminded me a lot of like Prezi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The way it's set up in the layout, it reminded me a lot of how like you would create a Prezi.
Yeah, that's what I thought about when I was looking through it, because like just the way that trying to think what I'm saying. The way that like the slides move, like it reminds me of like of Prezi, because if you're on one, then it can spin or do something crazy and go to the next slide. So that's what I really thought. It's really cool for kids because it instead of just like you're using PowerPoint, you just hit enter and it goes to the next slide. Like it it kind of makes it interesting for them when they're learning.
Yeah, I really liked how you could see the visuals of like the ladybugs and subtracting, and I thought that was really cool, like giving the visual representation of that. It's going to help kids so much.
I definitely think
so. Liked Raz Kids a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think for the especially the younger grades, like something like the one that like I made would be good for them, because they're just they're learning the basics of their numbers, and this is really a great way for them to visualize like why is 6 minus 4 2, like why does that equal 2? If they have those visuals, they can really see what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Carly, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. Okay, so my name is Carly, and I'm going to be talking about Apollo Atlas by Learning and Padlets. Let me screen share. Okay, so this website, this is Apollo. This website allows teachers to create and share lessons that students can follow along using an iPad. An app that will go on the iPad that the students can use. And this app takes the lesson that is displayed on the board that the teacher created, and it allows the student to view it on the iPad right in front of them. So students can also take this lesson home to use, which can be really helpful for students who may have trouble understanding or need just a review. They can take this home and they can use it at any time they would like to. So when creating a lesson, you can start from scratch or you can choose a template. Although the template you have to create, so you do have to start from scratch when you first make an account. But after that, you're able to use just a generic template that you create. That way, you can use it for a bunch of different lessons. And through these lessons, you can just add a whole bunch of different aspects that makes the lesson really engaging for students. So this is what it looks like when you log in. Over here is where students would go. They'd go to join lesson, and each lesson comes with a code. So they'd enter in the code, hit join lesson, and it would bring them to the page. But for create a template, you go here, and you can either upload a file or use a blank file. I'm just going to add a blank file for now. And you can, from here, it's up to you what you do. It's really about how you want the lesson to look like. So there's not really any limits. You have a bunch of different editing tools, so you can like change the background. You can add a bunch of different content. You can add quizzes on here. You can add voice recordings. It's just a really cool website, I think. So like I said before, in order for the students to view the lesson, the teacher needs to invite the students by the code that's given for you. So when you finish creating your lesson on here, you'll have a code for that lesson. And when the code is given to the students, they'll log in the code over here under joint lesson again, and that'll bring them right up to the lesson that you want them to be a part of. Okay. So in order to teach the lesson, all you have to do is when you finish doing this, all you have to do is push teach lesson, and it brings it into presentation mode, which I thought was really cool. It's a very user-friendly website, and it's not difficult to figure out. So as you go through the lesson, the student's version will follow along automatically with you, so they don't have to worry about hitting next or doing anything like that. It all automatically goes with the main computer. So in the lesson, you're able to add interactive quizzes. So the quiz will pop up on the board, and then the students can choose their answer at the bottom. So if I put add quiz, you just do a true or false quiz. And then at the bottom here, it'll poll how many said true, how many said false. So you're not able to see who says it, but you're able to kind of get an idea of what the whole class is thinking throughout the lesson. So this site is very useful for teachers and students to help create a more interactive and involving lesson. The majority of the website is free. However, you may need to pay depending on how much you plan on using the website. There are a certain amount of lessons that you can make before you have to pay. I think you can do 2 lessons for free, but otherwise you'd have to pay. So I have the pricing pulled up here. So as you can see, it's quite expensive. It's $150 per classroom, or you can get it school-wide, which is going to vary the pricing. Which I think it's cool that you can get it school-wide, and then you can download the app on all of the different technologies for the school instead of having each classroom having to buy app. Okay, so that's Apollo, and now I'm moving on to my second one, which is Padlet. So this website is an app as well that allows several people to express their thoughts on a common topic. It's essentially just a digital piece of paper that allows instant collaboration between many different people. So when you start off, you're going to start off with an empty page, or the website calls it a Padlet. So here is the Padlet. And you can use it however you wish. You can put whatever information on it you want, so it's very customizable. You can add different types of things. You can put whatever you want, so it's not a certain content. You can use it for many different subjects, which I thought was really cool. So as you go through, it kind of walks you through how to do this. So you'll title it, you'll give it a description, and you can choose the layout. So you can do freeform where you can put stuff wherever you want, or you can have a more specific layout. You can choose the wallpaper, theme. You can add different little icons, tags, addresses, a whole bunch of different stuff on here. Next, you have the option to either make this private, you can make it public, you can have a password with it, whatever you want to have. And then you start posting. So this is very easy to use, and it's very easy to get started. You just have to get here and you just hit add, and the little box pops up and you can put in your information. So with this website, you're not limited to just text. You can add voice recordings, videos, documents, pictures, whatever you want. I'm just gonna hit something here, and it comes out, and you can move it wherever you want on the Padlet. So you can really organize it how you want it to be organized. And this website allows the people who are collaborating on the Padlet to collaborate, which can tend to be a little bit confusing at times, but it can be helpful to have everybody looking at the same thing, and you can get a lot more done in that way. So using this website, you can work on the page anywhere from any device. So as long as the device has the app for Padlet, you can go on and use it. So you can use it from a tablet, iPad, iPhone, just a regular desktop or laptop. If you can log into your Padlet and have the app for it, you can use it. And share your Padlet a couple different ways, kind of like in the beginning. You can make it completely private, so the only people who see it are the editors. You can make it secret, which is kind of pretty much the same thing. You can make it password protected, so you have to have a password to be able to prove it, or to be able to view it. You can make it public so anybody can see it, or you can just get a shareable link, kind of like how we have to do with Google Docs, and you can send it to people and they'll be able to come in. It's a great way to promote collaboration amongst students in the classroom. And unlike my other website, this one is free, other than just a few upgrades. So to like make certain themes and stuff, you have to upload to like the premium version of this, and then you can use that. But otherwise, the whole website is free. So those are my two.
I like that because like between like you and I, Carly, like we had like similar. It was almost like a similar tool, just different ways of using them. Like I like them because like I feel like we're so used to having like just basic PowerPoint that like having access to websites and tools like these, it really gives students another way to share information, like a more creative way to share their information.
Yeah, I really agree with that, because like when I was doing projects and presentations growing up, it was always PowerPoint or Prezi, nothing else. And through this class, I've just learned that there's so many other options and ways to do it. So I really liked how both of those things you could just collaborate and make the same, like make a PowerPoint, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So I really like those. Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go now. So I have, let me screen share.
Don't forget to click on yourself.
I did. Oh. We're good at it. Okay, so I had three tools, and the first one I'm going to go over is called Electron Inks. Electron Inks is a science tool for drawing circuits, and it's a company that's really passionate about the intersection of materials, electricity, and education, and they develop electronic modules, lessons, and kits. Through this website, like I said, they created drawing circuits, and they created a circuit scribe, which is actually a rollerball pen that writes with a non-toxic conductive silver ink. And the non-toxic silver ink is ink pen and a number of you get the ink pen and a number of interactive modules. And there's kits that you can get, certain types of kits. And the kits range from beginner to advanced and are suitable for individuals to use, or that you could use it as a classroom set. The website's actually to make circuits intuitive and accessible to learners of all ages. And so this is the website, and I'm going to go to the part where it says Shop Circuit Scribe, where you can actually go in and actually look at the types of that they're selling. This slow. Okay, so here's kits and bundles, which is I'll go to next. But then you can, oh wait, it's right down here. And so here are the types of kits. There's the basic, maker, and ultimate kit. You can see the price ranges at the bottom. It's 44 to 60 bucks, or 45 to 60 bucks for the basic, and then up to 100 for the ultimate. Within the basic kit, I'm clicking on it and it's going slow. You can get started with this type of kit, and it's like got drawing paper, and it contains a circuit scribe pen, 6 modules, a 9V battery, and other accessories. And you can explore the basic circuit concepts and conductivity work up to creating a touch-sensitive circuit using the NPN translator. And then it goes up with the types of kits that you get. You can increase the type of things that you get and the challenge level of the circuits that you can create. So Circuit Scribe out of the textbook that you learned about and actually puts them into the student's imagination, and it's more of a hands-on activity for the students to understand. It's all about learning through creating, and you can create circuits with stuff as simple as a pen and paper, battery, and then this really helps with STEM education projects. Or you could do something as simple as creating a refrigerator magnet with these types of circuits. So there's the types of kits, the pens and accessories, and modules. There's just a bunch of different things, and I think this is a really cool tool that you could use. It makes it more hands-on, but one flaw is that they are $20 for a pen. But I guess there's so many different options that you could do with this type of thing. And like I said before, it's good for STEM education projects and just making it more hands-on in the classroom. So that was what I had about that. I wish I could have found a picture, one of the actual circuits, but I could not find one, and the only part is the video, and wouldn't load. But so that's Circuit Scribe, where you can draw circuits. I'm going to move on to my next tool, which is the Web 2.0 tools, and this one's kind of long, so bear with me. The Web 2.0 tools are about revolutionizing new ways of creating, collaborating, editing, and sharing user-generated content online. And it's also about the ease of the use of these types of tools. And there's no download needed for any of the tools. So there are a handful of tools that are involved in the Web 2.0 tools. And they were like right here: presentation tools, video tools, mobile tools, and communication tools. So I'm first going to go into the presentation tools. And the first tool I'm going to talk about is called slideshare.net. And slideshare.net is a website where teachers can upload PowerPoints and slides to the website. I'm going to go click on this tool here and it'll go to it. You can edit the slides and you can record an MP3 file about the slides, and you can then add them and edit them according to the slides. So if you were just speaking about the whole presentation and wanted to just circulate it slide, you could edit it and put that one part on that one slide. And you can send a link to others and other people, and they can follow along without actually having to download the app. So I think that's a really cool option. On the first one here. Which is also just like the ones that you guys happen to do. It's you can upload your certain PowerPoint slides and things like that. So I think that's really helpful. There's also a tool I'm going to talk about is Prezi, and we've actually done Prezis in this class. So I'm not going to speak too much about it, just because we know a lot about Prezi already. So, but Prezi's where you can have a set of bubbles where you can add videos and MP3s, and this type of presentation can resemble more artwork than a presentation. And this type of presentation lets the students become really creative, and they get to put their mind into what they're actually studying or what they're actually presenting on. So it gives them a way to create and be creative in their presentation. So the last tool for presentation tools that I'm going to talk about is called pixviewer.com. And pixviewer.com is where you can take slides that you've already created and then put them on a wall, and you can click on the slides in any order. It's very visually engaging for the students to look at. So here's an example, and there are different options on how you want to present the tools. So you could have a poster, or you could have a mini wall, a photo stack. There's just a bunch of different options that you can look into and create. And these are all slides that you've already created. So that is pixviewer.com. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to start talking about video tools. Video tools right here. And video tools help integrate video. It says, try these free video integration tools in your classroom for projects, presentations, parent meetings, and more. So the first one I'm going to speak about is animoto.com. And this is a website your photos and videos into an actual slideshow or a presentation. So this is just taking your pictures and your work and actually creating a presentation. So you make sure you actually go to animotoeducation.com, because there's two different ones right here. And this one is for actual pictures, and it's essentially like a music video. And there's three easy steps in creating a video. And step one is to add the photos and videos. And then the second step is to upload music, and then that they have on the site, or you can put in your own music. And then the step 3 is just to finalize the video. And this type of thing is really engaging to students, because music is such a big part of students' lives anyway. So you could just incorporate pictures and videos according to what you want to use in your classroom. And I think that's really good to grab the students' attention. So that was that one. And then, the other tool that I'm going to talk about under video tools are photopeach.com. And photopeach.com is a fun, easy, free site. And it's just like Animoto, except there can actually be built-in polls and quizzes for informal assessments for the teacher that they wanted to do. So you can share the link on Facebook, email, IM, and you can also embed them in a classroom website. So just like I said before, you can create the lesson, and you can put your videos, music, pictures all on a slideshow. And then you can actually create a poll or assessment to see if the kids got out of the lesson what you were trying to get them to get out of the lesson. So that I think is a really good option. And then I have to go back, and the next tool under Web.0 tools I have is mobile tools, and these are perfect for podcasting, blogging, media sharing, quizzes, and more. And these clever apps turn cell phones into a smart teaching tool. So, I mean, as we know that there's so many ways that students can get on the internet, and cell phones being one of them. And there's so many ways, so many new ways to go mobile and beyond calling and just calling and texting on the children's cell phones, because they seem to be getting them earlier and earlier. So why not make these tools available for students on their phone so they can be learning while they're using these types of mobile tools. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called polleverywhere.com, and this is where you can create a real-time survey experience at an event using your mobile device, and it's fun, fast, and easy way to get live responses in any venue. This is a website and a mobile app that creates a survey, and people can get real live, fast responses. And this is being used from kindergarten all the way up to seminars. So, I mean, there's just so many ways that you could integrate this poll, these types of polls into your classroom lesson, and see students' opinions are for certain things. And so you can create you can create a poll. So here you'll just click create, and my computer's being slow. You can create them by like multiple choice. You can have a word cloud, upvote, downvote. You can rank the order, clickable images, or open-ended, and it'll give you a % towards the end. So I think that's a really cool website that you can use in the classroom. I don't know how necessarily it would be good if students aren't supposed to have their cell phones out in the classroom, but it could be for types of, like, if there was a presentation, or if like a guest speaker came and somebody had to ask a poll question and use it that way. But so that was my poll everywhere. And then I'm going to go back, and then this one's called Phone.io, and this is a free voicemail, conference calling, and podcasting, and more. This is an app that allows free voicemails, conference calls, and podcasting, and more. And there is an app, this app could really be helpful for teachers to speak to the parents and students at home. So instead of giving a parent your phone number and having them call your personal cell phone all the time, you could have this app, and you could create your own domain and give these people their domain information, and they could contact you that way, and they could have free voicemails, conference calls, podcasting. And this is good for parents, but also students if they forgot something and had to ask another student. It's just a really good way for students to get up with each other and talk about what they're learning in the classroom. So my last mobile tool that I'm going to talk about is called jot.com, and this is where you can use your voice and Jot to get more done every day. Set reminders, read, share, organize, get voicemails as emails and text, all via your voice. So I'm clicked on jot.com, and this is an app for mobile devices where you can use your voice for setting alarms, like I previously said, reminders, reading and sharing, organizing, getting voicemails as emails and texts. And this app allows people to text at school, concerts, a bus, or on a plane just by turning on the Bluetooth. So you actually don't need Wi-Fi. If you have Bluetooth, you can turn on the Bluetooth. And this is actually called something Air Chat, where you can speak with the people in your classroom about Air Chat. So it says, what's Air Chat? And Air Chat's an offline mesh network Jot makes by connecting devices, iPhones, iPads, iPods, etc., using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi over Air Chat. Jot users can chat without needing data or internet. And so that would be really helpful if students are trying to get up with their classmates at home because they forgot an assignment or had to speak about an assignment and they didn't have any Wi-Fi. It's a good way for them to be able to get their work done at home. And this, I like how it's just got a group chat option, so it's not like you just have to talk to one person. You can ask a bunch of people so you can get multiple perspectives. Jot's unblockable, so you can't, you're free to speak your mind and no one can track or block your text because they're sent through an offline network and school networks. And so like some kids growing up feel embarrassed or awkward if they have to ask for other kids' phone numbers. And so this is something where you can, where you can actually ask for phone numbers on the website or on the actual app instead of having to ask them in person, and you could get to speak with them that way. So you can use this this app also in schools and you could search your school and swipe right to chat with your friends. And this is I think this is more of a web app helpful for kids of older grades, maybe in like middle school and high school, just because they have the access most of the time, have access to a smartphone or other mobile devices rather than younger kids having cell phones and things like that. So I really liked Jot. And then if you go, that was the last one I was talking about, mobile tools. And then the last tool I'm going to talk about is the community tools. The community tools there wasn't any specific ones just to talk about or like well, there was a bunch of them and I didn't want to go through all of them. So on my notes, I just spoke in general about them all. There are a wide range of tools that can enable teachers and students to communicate, collaborate, and share work. There are a lot, so I'm only going to speak of a few. And some, like Emoto, are designed specifically for educators, and it's a Twitter-like tool that lets you create custom mini communities for classrooms, clubs, parents, etc., and push out assignment reminders and updates. So this is a really good website. It's like a Twitter for your classroom, basically, but through Emoto. And this actually just allows teachers to communicate further and beyond with their kids. And it's more of a fun way rather than just notes in their agenda and get their notes that way. This way, the students have, since technology is inevitable this day and age, this is more of a fun way, I guess, for students to get on and figure out their work if they were to forget it, or collaborate and share work. And this is, so that was Emoto. And you can create, I'm a teacher account, and you can create it through your Google account, or you can, if you're the student, you have a student free account and a parent. So I think that's a really good option because it gives you all of the types of what it could be. Oh, that's not it. So where is it? Okay, and then another community-based tool is actually Google Docs, and like we've used Google Docs a bunch, and it can be used for general use, but it also can be used to connect school collaboration, and others are, so Google Docs, like we've done, is all real-time online collaboration, so it's saved as you're typing it, and I think that's a pretty cool aspect, because like on on Word, you have to go through and save it every time. So I think Google Docs is a good way for collaborating and doing group work, and just sharing it's a good way to share links, and just like we've used for this class. So you could use it for, it's all the way up to college. I mean, we use it in class. And so the last one I'm going to talk about, I was just going down the list, and there's a bunch here, but I'm not going to go over them all. So, but there are others are like Ning.com, where you can create your own special social media network. And then there's other ones like Classroom 2.0, and this is where an online community for teachers. And Smartboard Revolution is a whiteboard file sharing. There's just a bunch of community tools that for teachers, students, and even parents. So it's just unlimited, I feel like, just because there are so many different types of ways to collaborate and communicate and share all the work. So some Web 2.0 tools that are, or most of the Web 2.0 tools are about sharing, and some are about sharing and a lot of do both collaborating and sharing. So and they're created to collaborate and mainly to be easy to use for people who are not that tech savvy. So it gives you a opportunity to get online, use these types of tools, and get involved in your classroom, collaborate and share work. So that was my Web 2.0 tools. So my last tool that I'm going to speak about is called Paper LI. And Paper LI is an easy way to collect, publish, and share content on the web. And it enables people to publish newspapers based on topics they like and treat readers to fresh news daily. And this is used all around the world, and they give you access to an ever-expanding universe of articles, blog posts, and rich media content, and their sources from Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, webs, or like CNN, different types of websites. And so it automatically finds contents on any subject. You can quickly and easily add your own content to the sources and prioritize them. So I'm going to go over here. I created my own account for this. So you have your types of newsstands, and that's my actual newsstands, the stuff I was looking at. And so what you would do is you would actually create a paper. It's loading, and then it's going to ask you what you're interested in, and you could type in anything like art or something along those lines, and it would just bring you to anything that has anything to do with art. And then you would create a free paper over in the corner, and then you could click on one of the articles, make a paper for you, and it would like this one's called the Art Daily. I had one, I just think it is so funny to read about all of these clown sightings. So I made a Paper LI on clown sightings. And so like over here, you could click on my papers, but here's the Clowns Daily. So it goes into all of different kinds of articles about clowns, like all of the sightings and everything. And it updates a certain amount of times. So see what I mean? It says like, what do the scary clowns want, and perspectives. You can edit the type of the tool. You can edit what people can see and like what you would want on the actual website. So you can like X out and slide down and stuff like that. So it's just a bunch of news articles that you can collaboratively or all on one paper and you can get to. And you can customize it and make it your own by defining topics you want and the language you speak. And it's promoted, like I said, by sending posts to Facebook, Twitter, and a website or blog. Like over here, I just actually X'd out of the, you can do Twitter or just the other stuff that had just popped up. And this is a helpful tool for students in school, and if they're studying a certain topic, they can search and collect articles that are written. And they could also you can actually write your own article. So I think that is a pretty cool option. This website is free, but you can, like I said, like previously said with Carly and Caitlin, that you can actually upgrade to a certain amount. You can upgrade to Pro. It's about that. So you can create your own papers. You can collect papers and just a bunch of different things. And I think this website's really good for project work and group, like collaborating and sharing work with your classmates, the teacher, or just yourself. So like I set up here, here's the headlines. You can click on headlines, and then it goes into more depth in art and education, or art and entertainment, I'm sorry. And you can talk about clowns world, worldwide leisure, and then it actually does hashtags, which is pretty cool because that is such a big deal in or in the world today is hashtags, and that's how a lot of people communicate. So I think that's really cool. And so I just think this is a very helpful website of research and collecting and collaborating, publishing and sharing content with all of these different news article websites and things of that. Like I said here, there are all these different types of places and plus many more. And you can share it on all these different types: Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Google, Instagram. You could automatically deliver your content where you want and through social networks, web, newspaper, email, newsletter, and different things of that nature. And it's like I said before, it's all over the world. People are using it, and you can use it on your iPhone, you can use it online, iPads, different things. So I just think that's a really cool website that I've never thought of to use before. So those are my tools. Stop sharing. Sorry guys, it took so long.
No, it's okay. The web 2.0, it's those tools. Those are a lot of really great tools, like especially Edmodo. My teachers in high school use that so much. Like I had one of my English teachers, like she was on it every day. And what was nice, because if you were out sick, like she posted every day what we covered in class. So it was still really great. If you were out sick, like you don't have to worry about, finding out from someone else what you missed. Like it came directly from the teacher. And it was nice because I think there's like an app you can download for it too on your phone. So it's like you can access it on there too. Like you don't have to go on the computer. So I definitely, that's a great tool.
Yeah, I actually I really liked this tool, or until I was like looking over it, and I think it is really clever for teachers to use it and like you could speak to your students through another type of like, I want to say like a more fun way of getting it across to the students. So, and I actually had never heard of it until I researched it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really liked the web 2.0, 0 point, whatever it is. I liked that tool a lot, just because it was easy to access a lot of different tools. Instead of having to know all these different tools, you can just know that this website has a bunch of tools that you can look at. So you don't have to remember the URLs or anything like that. You just have to remember one and everything's there.
Yeah, and it's really reliable. It's through Discovery Education, so it's like that's so reliable, and that's how you could get to the Web 2.0 tools. And I just thought there were so many, and I think that's a really good option for teachers to have all of those types of options. So
yeah, definitely.
Great. So that was Hangout number 4.